I just want to take it easy, have a good race, not blow up, not try to compete against some of these great athletes. I believe that most human beings are only living at about 40% of their capability. So the mind has a governor, like a car. If you're driving a car and the car has a governor on it, the car may say 130 miles an hour, but the governor is set for 91. Once that governor sets in, you get to 91, that car starts doing this. The car wants to go. The car wants to go, but that factory said, we're not going past 91. We have a factory, a nice governor in our brain, and it's a survival mechanism. It protects us from pain and suffering. The second we feel that shit, our mind says, oh no, this isn't fun. We should back off. We should sit down, find something more comfortable. And there's something about the mind. The mind has the tactical advantage over you at all times. At all times of your life, the mind has a tactical advantage over you. Why is that? It knows what you're afraid of. It knows your insecurities. It knows your deep, dark lies. It pushes you in a direction that is comfortable. The mind controls everything.
One of the greatest things that you can do when you're trying to become successful is to make sure that you never give up. Now that will be challenging because you are going to fail. And when you fail, it's going to stink. It's going to feel like you got hit in the face. You're going to get punched down, knocked out, and you're not going to want to come back up. But that's what it all is about, is rising back up to the challenge. Because once you fail, it's all right. Everybody's expecting you to fail, and that's what you should do. You should fail frequently and fail with confidence and fail boldly. Because each and every time that you fail, you learn something new that you can transfer into becoming successful. And all those failures will add up, and you will eventually learn so much from what not to do that it will be extremely beneficial to you in your pathway to success. You're going to understand so much more about failing and about yourself and about whatever it is you're pursuing each and every time that you fail, and each and every time that you rise up to the challenge and you continue to keep moving forward. Because nobody's going to remember how many times you failed. They're only going to remember that one time that you got back up from your last failure and you finally crossed the threshold of success and you became that successful individual you've been trying to become for years upon years. Nobody then will ask you, why did you fail so many times? But if you give up, they will ask you, why did you stop trying? Why did you stop pursuing your dream? The one thing that you truly love and truly are aspiring to do, and that you attacked relentlessly for so long and then just stopped trying to do it. So never give up.
You know, the one gift I have, with all that being said, what you just said there, is I have the ability to see the end before the beginning even begins. And what that means is I know that to get to the very end, I can see it right now. So before I went to Buds and I was losing I saw myself walking across the stage at 191 pounds, 'cause that's what I had to get to get into the door. I saw myself 6 months, a year later, whatever it's gonna take me to do it, I saw myself walking across that stage, getting that certificate of graduation from Buds. And I was able to be there, and that feeling that I was nowhere near that feeling, I was able to put myself there a million times, feeling of like, that is gonna feel amazing. That's what made me suffer. That's what allowed the pain to be real and say, this is worth it. I want to feel for 18 months, it's 6 months, it took me 18. That's what woke me up was, I'm gonna put myself through this much pain and suffering for a few seconds. That's all it is, a few seconds of joy. That's what people don't get. So I'm able to put myself at the finish line, even though I have no finish line, but at the finish line of an event before I even start the motherfucker to say, how are you gonna feel at the end of this?
Who never picked me up when I fell. She taught me how to get up when I was knocked down. I thank my uncle for always being there for me. And I thank all you out here who fought in these wars. You have no idea how big of a deal this is to me. I was not always this strong guy you see. I went through a lot of hard times in my life to get here today. A story I'll tell you with real quick. I tried once to get in the Air Force to be an Air Force pararescueman, and I quit for fear of the water. I was 175 pounds. I left the Air Force 4 years later at 300 pounds. I went from 175 to 300 pounds. There's a long story in there on how that came to be. But I sat around and read a book on the Medal of Honor. And those guys, all I wanted to be was an uncommon man. In my whole life, I was not that, much worse than that. But I read stories about men like you, Doc, who had the courage to jump on grenades and stuff like that. So I came home one day from working at a job called Ecolab, where I sprayed for cockroaches. Made $1,000 a month, weighing 300 pounds. And I got home and I watched a show on Discovery Channel of guys carrying boats and logs, Navy SEAL training. And I decided to make a change in my life.
Take a lot of passion in who I am as a person. As you hear, as this podcast gets going and going and going, what you're gonna do is you're gonna transform me from this guy right now that's kind of chilled out in this room, David Goggins, to Goggins. And I had to invent this person.
David Goggins is an introverted, soft kid that got beat up growing up and mindset had to lie to create friends, to get friends, to be accepted. My life has really been about two people. Very scary, but two people. I had to invent a whole nother human being to get outside of my comfort zone. And that human being became Goggins. Goggins is like the guy that walks out of the phone booth. He's like that Superman that walks out of the phone booth. And I was talking to my fiance today about, it's kind of strange how sometimes I have a conversation between David Goggins. And Goggins will tell David Goggins about he's done. And David Goggins like, what the hell, man? Why are you doing that? That's nuts. So it's kind of this battle between trying to find more of yourself, knowing that the real you is afraid, likes comfort, likes living in a world that likes to pat you on the back, give you the things that you want to hear, not the things that you have to hear to get better. So that's where all this kind of started from. And when people hear this podcast, they're going to hear a lot of things that they're going to want to put a title on me.
Thank you all so much for watching this video. If you haven't already, please go ahead and like the video, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and let us know what you thought down in the comment section below.